You buy something on labor, but with labor, you pay interest. Yeah. So labor is not higher purchase. Higher purchase involves you paying interest for borrowing to buy an appliance. In most cases, higher purchase is is a way of buying appliances, home appliances like a fridge, a stove, a television set, so on. Okay? Most of the home appliances, especially the most important ones. If you don't get money to buy a nice TV, a nice fridge, and so on, you don't have the cash, maybe say 15,000, 10,000, you can't afford it, then you can go to a shop and say, I don't have money, can I have this appliance? Then they'll say, okay, it's fine, show us all your documentation. Are you employed? Just give us your payslip, your bank statement, your ID, okay, and so on. If you are employed, there might be a letter from the employer as evidence that you'll be able to pay back. Right? Normally, higher purchases, they don't exceed 2 years in most cases. Okay, you pay maybe 2, 3 years, but they are mainly for home appliances. Okay, they're mainly for home appliances. So if you want that nice fridge, that nice TV, washing machine, and so on, and you don't have cash, then you have to go buy that. Okay. So let's say for example, the person earns 15,000 a month. There is no way they can afford to buy a fridge for 20,000, unless even if we say they are going to save money, it takes a long period to save. Because remember, if you earn 15,000 a month, you have got expenses every month. So to save 20,000 to buy a nice fridge or a nice TV, it's not that easy. So the best route for such a person is to get credit to buy that TV or that fridge which is nice. Okay, so that's higher purchase. Now, generally now with higher purchases, simple interest is charged or is calculated. No compound interest is involved. So the interest is only calculated on the amount that you borrow. Remember, you buy on hire purchase, you are borrowing from someone or from an organization. In this case, in most cases, it will be probably that shop might have a credit department. You buy clothes and so on, all that probably falls under that. But in most cases, it's the home appliances. So simple interest is calculated. The good thing about simple interest is that the interest that you pay will not be very high. Okay? But if you decide, say, for example, if you are supposed to pay over 2 years, then you say it's going to be 3 years, you end up paying more interest. I know some people, as I was telling yesterday, they think that if you are told by a financial institution that, okay, you're going to pay, you pay it off in 3 years, you think, I'm going to have more time. You're going to have more time, but you will pay more interest. So it's better to pay within a short space of time as compared to a longer period. So with high purchase, you can negotiate to say, okay, I want to pay it off within a month. So you pay every month, but you might pay a higher installment. But overall, the interest will be less. Okay, so this is higher purchase. Now, sometimes higher purchases they may involve paying insurance premium. The main reason why you have to pay the insurance premium is because the shop or the owner of that business where you'll be borrowing from might want to like have some kind of security that you'll be able to pay it off up to the end. Okay, so they may ask you to pay like an insurance, it will be just a small amount. Okay, so that's also something that you. Now, when you are requested to pay an insurance premium, it will be added to your interest and the total amount that the appliance will cost. So you pay the total amount of the appliance plus the interest, which will be simple interest, plus the insurance premiums. So those insurance premiums will be paid per month. If you're going to pay over 2 years, it will be 24 months, and the insurance premium per month. All that is added. Then you get one installment per month. Okay. So we have got some examples there. So I'm going to do the first one. Okay? Only. Right? So, the first question here says Vanessa wants to buy a fridge. Okay? On a hire purchase agreement. Okay, just to let you know, it's very, what can I say? For me, it's very encouraging that you go to a shop, then you want to buy a fridge, you pay cash. Alright? In my case, I've never bought a fridge on credit. I bought paid cash for my fridge. Yeah. I bought a new fridge recently and I paid cash. Right. Okay. The cash price of the fridge is 4,500 rand. Okay? So that's not very expensive. 4,500 rand. She is required to pay a deposit of 15% and pay the remaining loan amount over 24 months at an interest rate of 12% per annum. Now here, you've got quite a number of things that you need to be aware of. First, is it's going to be paid, okay, this is going to be a hire purchase agreement. My pen is not working. So, the cash price is 4,500. So if the person has got money, the cash, just go to the shop, pay your 4,500, then you get your, right? She's required to pay a deposit, which is 15% of that 4,500. Now, sometimes when you want to buy an appliance on hire purchase, you may be asked to pay a deposit. Okay? The advantage of paying the deposit is that you end up paying a lower installment. Okay? For the shop, it's some kind of security that at least you are able to pay part of that full amount. Okay? So it means the person end up paying, end up borrowing 85% of that 4,500. You pay 15%, borrow 85%. Right? Then the remaining loan amount has to be paid off over 24 months. So that remaining amount, which is 85%, simple interest kicks in, then they'll cover the full amount over the 2-year period. You divide that by 24, then you get your monthly installment. So the question says, what is the principal loan amount there? Now, that's 85% of 4,500. So 1A, yeah, was you're going to pay the cost of 50%. What's left? 85. So instead of stressing ourselves, we just say the principal amount will be 85% times 4,500. What value is it? What is 85% of 4,500? What? 3825. No sense. Okay, so it means that the person is going to borrow 3,825. And that 3,825 rand is going to accumulate interest over the 2-year period. So the simple interest formula that I introduced yesterday will be used. That value there will be the principal amount. Then you get one large amount, which is going to have this amount plus the interest. Okay? Then the next question says, what is the accumulated loan amount? Okay, the accumulated loan amount. Now that's A now. Okay, so the accumulated loan amount, it is a sum of the principal plus the interest. Okay, so on the next page, we'll use the simple interest formula. So this is B now. So A is equal to P times 1 plus I times N. So our P is 3,825 and 1 plus I, well, our interest is 12% per annum. So that would be, if you want, your calculators can convert 12% to the decimal. So this will be times what? 24. But you see, our N is in terms of years. So this will be times 2. Then please allow me to just list the information there. Okay, just allow me to list. So for this question, Our P is 3,825. The A, we don't know. N is 2 years. Remember, in grade 10, as I told you yesterday, N will always be the number of years. N will always be the number of years, not the number of months. It will only be the number of months in grade 11 and in grade 12. So our interest here is 12%. Right? So that is 12 over 100, which is going to be 0.12. Alright? Then, can you simplify that and tell me what's the accumulated amount? Quick, please. What's the accumulated amount? 47? Any sense? Okay. So, the person will end up paying in total 4,743. Remember, this is excluding the deposit. This is excluding the deposit, but the accumulated amount that the person is going to pay is 4,743. Okay. This is the amount that the person will pay based on borrowing. But the overall amount will be this amount plus the deposit. Right? Alright, so we'll get there later. So C now says, what are Vanessa's monthly repayments? So the monthly repayments now, we divide this amount by 24. So C, we just say monthly repayment is going to be equal to 4,743 divided by 24. Okay. So what will be the monthly repayment? To be almost like 197. 197.63. So it's close to 200 right per month. So the person has to make sure that at the end of every month, in their bank account, there should be this amount. Okay? Every month, there's that amount. Whatever happens, whether you're in a good financial standing or not, or your finances are not in a good shape, whichever the case they are, you must have that amount.
What happens if you don't pay?
Well, it's a good question. You see, if you don't pay, okay, what happens is that we end up having what's called a missed payment. Now, there are consequences. The consequence of a missed payment is that it will increase slightly the interest. So let's say, for example, if the person doesn't pay for 1 month, it means somehow they have to compensate for non-payment for that 1 month, and you may be charged interest. So what happens if you skip 1 month? It means the amount that you were owing before you made that payment to accumulate interest, then you end up having a new monthly repayment. But that monthly repayment will be slightly higher than this because of the missed what? Repayment. That's why at the end of month, people will start worrying about debit orders and all that stuff. Make sure you've got money in your bank account. Also, buy something that you can afford. That's the best rule. Buy something you can afford to avoid stress. Okay? Live within your means. Okay, right. Let's carry on. The next question, it says, what is the total amount she has paid for the fridge? Now, the total amount that she paid for the fridge is going to be the deposit plus the value of A we got here. Remember, you also paid 15% deposit. That money goes to the shop, and this value here goes to the shop. If the person borrowed through a bank, then the bank gets its share, right, and so on. So the total amount will be equal to 4,743 plus 15% times 4,500. Can someone do a calculation and tell us the answer? It should be 5,000 something. 5,000? No sense. Right. So if you were to be asked, how much interest did the person pay?